Hey everyone, Jeremy here. It's Wednesday night, and we're going to create some art. In case you guys didn't notice, I switched days to today because I was kind of busy with a project yesterday. But I kind of like Wednesdays. It's the middle of the week. Like I don't have to ask you guys how your week's going. You already know how your week's going. You don't have to think about it too hard. Um, it is nice, hump day, middle of the week, get together and create some art. So that's what we're gonna do tonight. I see kids already in the room, and hopefully some of you guys will trickle in, and we can chat while I'm drawing. So, what are we working on tonight? Well, I've been doing a bunch of little random things. Tonight I wanted to get back to doing pet portraits. Because a friend of mine reached out and said that they had a dog named Ringo that unfortunately passed away, and they were asking if I can draw their pet. So she's a really good friend of mine. I'm happy to draw Ringo for her. It's actually I've got the reference photo here. It's actually I think it's a Australian cattle dog. But don't quote me on that because I'm not very good with these dog breeds. I just know it's a beautiful, beautiful dog, and his name was Ringo. And the only instructions I really got, so like beautiful dog, but the only real instructions I got was that little white mark on his forehead is called a Bentley mark, and apparently the story there is that that's where God would touch the dogs and say, "You're a good boy." So she really wanted to make sure that that's incorporated. So whatever else I do, I need to make sure I put that very stark white like mark in there, which I think should be pretty easy. But anyway, that's the only intro I've got. I'm going to go ahead and jump right in because you guys know these dog portraits usually take a little while because there's so much detail. I don't know how much we're going to get through tonight, but I'm going to take a stab at it. And get started. So as you guys can see, like with most of my other dog pictures, yeah, beautiful dog, Mama Q, really beautiful dog. So I already took the time to kind of prep the paper. My process is that I kind of give it like a tone in acrylics, and then I apply some clear gesso to give it that sandpaper texture, which is really good for pastels. So I'm just going to jump right in. I think my strategy here is to kind of like take it in layers. So you'll see like a lot of areas that are just kind of blotchy. They don't have a lot of detail, but as I continue along, hopefully some details will come through. I'm just going to start with outlining the eyes, I think, while we chat, just because I want to make sure that, I want to make sure that the face at least is done tonight, and then I can worry about the body as I need to. But I'm going to start with the eyes. Sometimes when I draw these things, it's a little frustrating. So this is like 9 by 12 paper. I should really get some bigger paper for these portraits, but this is what I got. But like so fine details in these things. But I enjoy doing it. I really like working on dog's eyes, even when it's this small. Just because like I don't know, they're so pretty. I like looking at pretty things. Yeah, he's a very handsome dog. Hopefully I can do it justice. The you know, like these dogs are so beautiful. I always get nervous because like I'm like, oh man, that's such a beautiful dog. I don't know if I can draw a dog that beautiful, but you know, I'll give it a shot. We'll see how it goes. But how is your guys' week going on this middle of the week hump day? What do you guys think of Wednesdays? If you guys are usually busy on Wednesdays and stuff, I can switch back to Tuesdays, but I kind of like this Wednesday deal. Oh, another shout out. You guys know Marble Rose. She's in here pretty often. It is actually her birthday, so make sure you guys wish her a happy birthday. I think she'd get a kick out of that. But yeah, she had commented on something that she may not be able to make it today because it's her birthday. So I wanted to give a shout out to her. No idea like which birthday she's celebrating, but all of them are good. So hopefully she's having a good one with lots of cake. But yeah, so I think in terms of layers, I'm just gonna kind of start with a brownish eye and then kind of like add some detail to it. With these pastel pencils, I got blend them in pretty constantly. I think once the eyes are done, I'm just going to kind of move on and kind of like throw in some fur, kind of like base color, and then maybe add some details on top of that. I like Wednesdays. I thought Tuesdays would be kind of cool because like I do the Friday stream and I'm not going to give that up. I mean, if I have to cancel a Friday stream because like, I don't know, I end up with a life and I go out or something, I don't have a problem with that. But for the most part, I enjoy doing the Friday streams. So I think I'm going to continue with that. But the other days, I'm kind of open on those. Like Mondays are pretty like I don't like Mondays, so I don't think I'm ever going to do a stream on Monday. I've done them before, but I didn't really enjoy them. Hey, good for you, Rome. I don't know what meds you got, but they sound important. Let's see. Get a little bit of black going for the pupil. Usually when the eyes are this small, it doesn't really take that long, but I want to get them right. I want to make sure that the pupils are in the right place. I don't want the dog looking in the wrong direction or anything like that. But Ringo's a good boy. Like some of you guys know whose dog this is and have talked to her and stuff like that. This was, like all of our dogs are like family members, and we treat them like family and everything. And they're definitely like our companion. Um, but from what I hear from the stories and stuff, like this dog went with her everywhere and really, really essential part of the family. So want to do it justice. By the way, like you guys know that I draw like all kinds of different things on this channel, like anything from people portraits to people themselves to Marvel superheroes and stuff like that. This is really where I prefer to be, as often as I get the opportunity. I want to be able to draw a bunch of different things. Oh, Wednesday is date night. Hey, this is a great date night for you, though. You and the hubby can like just watch, drawings and stuff like that. That sounds like a great date. I hear no downside to what you're saying. Nah, if you guys can't make the live streams, just know that you can always watch these things later. I don't mind. And then if you really feel the need to watch a live stream and it's not on the day that you have available, throughout the week, there's always the Fridays. Fridays are kind of like the main thing, I think, because like I really look forward to Fridays. I don't know about you guys, but Fridays are great. But anyway, like I was saying, I really enjoy drawing pets because I know how much they mean to people, and I'd rather draw something that is important than something that's not, right? So like if I'm doing an experimental drawing or something just to practice or whatever, I recognize that nobody gives a crap about that stuff. Like it ends up on my wall and you'll never see it again. Like Wednesday Adams up there playing the cello, nobody cares, right? But when it comes to these pet portraits, everybody and like they're so meaningful. It's like that one thing that I posted on my community tab where the guy reached out to me on a picture I had drawn in 1999. That's how far back. And I barely remember doing it, but it was it was of his father that had just recently passed away. And most of you guys probably saw that, so like forgive me for like kind of rehashing it, but I think it's kind of cool, like the guy gave it to his grandma, and she kept it on her wall for like many, many years. And then when his grandma passed away, he got it back, and it's been on their wall. I mean, that's cool. Like 1999, like that's what 24 years. That like, um, so those kind of pictures, those matter. Um, so I always want to do right by those if I can, you know, within my skill set, which It's not always consistent, but I don't know. At least I try. I try really hard. One of these days, I won't have to try so hard, but for now, I try really hard. So that's looking like an eyeball. I like that. I think I need to go a little bit darker on that brown. There's some highlights in there, but I wanted to, this is a better brown for that. Again, it's so small of an eye, but you know, if this was hanging on your wall, you might get in like a little close and look at it. I know she probably will. I don't feel like she's going to judge me too harshly on this picture. But I wanted to I want it to be judged harshly. Hey Packer, how's it going? So went straight from grandma's wall to his, not your mom's. Ha, that's another your mom joke. No, like honestly, I had forgotten about that picture. Like, um, once he told me a little bit about it, I remembered and everything. But again, it's been 24 years, guys. So it was a cool story though. Like it made me feel pretty good. So some of this goes slow, by the way. Like, sorry, it looks like I'm still focused on the eyes when they're so small, but I like to build them up a little bit. And the other thing that kind of sucks on this is I work on these things like during these live streams in the evening, and I don't have the best lighting and stuff. I really need to fix that. It's just never occurs to me to like get a better bulb or whatever. But I always like to come back and look at it the next day. So I'm gonna knock out as much as I can tonight, and then there'll definitely be some touch-ups tomorrow. Not heading to Louisville this weekend. Oh, that sucks. Yeah, it is too hot. I was gonna go for a walk today. I went for a short walk and I was like, nah, I'm good. I usually like to I don't get a chance to like often, but when I can, I like to go for like 2 mile walks. Not really hike because it's like in a park or whatever, but I like to walk about 2 miles a day. I don't always get the opportunity to do that, but when I can. But today it was like, I don't know, like half a mile. I walked half a mile and I'm like, nope, I'm good. I'm going back to my car. So I think that's a good start on the eyes. There's some like highlights and stuff like that, but I always like tend to save those for the last. That way I can kind of move things around if I need to. Um, but yeah, so I think I'll move on to the ears and just again, I'm just going to try to get that base coloring down and then um, go from there. So like whether you're painting, let me move all this out of the way. Whenever you're painting or working in pastels, it really is layers. Like if you're just drawing in like graphite pencil or something like that, you end up going over the same marks as before, but you're not really working in layers. Uh, Colored pencils, to a degree, yeah. But definitely with pastel pencils, they're made to kind of like work in layers. Where if it's black I'm putting down, I could literally come over it with white if I wanted to. And then the whole point of that texturing of the paper is just so that the pastel kind of adheres to it. And as you can see, I'm using watercolor paper, and the way you know that is like this heavy texture here. You wouldn't find that on most paper, but like the pastel is not really going to stick to untextured paper. So between the watercolor paper texture, and the sand that I kind of put in with that clear gesso, that's how it all kind of sticks to it. So there's a little bit of prep work involved, but it works out. And then of course, like this blending just kind of fills in those like that tooth on the paper so that it doesn't look as textured. Usually in the like later layers and stuff. I don't mind so much texture being in it. Like if you see some of that texture from the paper and some of those upper layers, it doesn't bother me so much. But on these base layers, it kind of does. And it doesn't matter that it's so light. That's a black ear, by the way. So, but to start off with, I don't mind that it's gray. It's a process. Beautiful ears, by the way, on this dog. Like I like it when the ear. Well, that's not true. I like it when the ears are pointy, but I also like it sometimes when they're floppy. Floppy's kind of fun. Floppy eared dogs. They're so cute. I just love that scratching noise. Like I don't know if you guys can hear that, but it's scraping on the paper. Some people like to watch these drawing pictures just for the like ASMR bit of it. I don't really have a voice for ASMR. If you wanna listen to Kermit doing ASMR, I can do that. I hate my voice. I think everybody hates their voice. I hate my voice, but I like Kermit. That's weird. I guess Kermit was just Jim Henson. I like Jim Henson's voice. But yeah, he's starting off great. He's not going to finish great. Just kind of getting that base stuff down there. Again, so like if you're doing this right, and you're using the same process where you kind of like tone the paper with acrylics first, you can paint some of this stuff in. In fact, I was thinking about changing up my process a little bit to where I do more of the drawing like as a painting, and then come back and add details with the pastel pencils. And then another thing I was thinking about trying because I like pastel pencils because they're easy to put down like a lot of color and then kind of blend it together so that you don't have that texture and stuff. Um, but you can honestly get more detail out of colored pencils. So I was thinking about changing up my process for doing portraits a little bit so that I'm kind of combining the two, where I use pastels first and then I come back over it with some fixant first to get all that pastel locked in, but then come back over it with colored pencils. And I kind of did that with the charcoal picture one time. Um, there you go, Rome. I appreciate it. I like that you enjoy it so much. If I had the free time, to be honest with you, I'd be doing this every day. Sometimes I do drawings every day, but like I don't really have the free time to do like a whole stream. That would be awesome. Some of these pictures they're a little bit more involved. Like this one, it's hard to tell really, but after doing a couple of them, I estimate like probably about 3 hours total. Um, and I won't make you guys sit through all that. I'll just do maybe the face tonight and kind of work on some of the other parts and then come back and finish up in the morning. Um, but like 3 hours a day, like it's hard to find time for that in one sitting. If I could, that would be awesome. Like if this was my day job, that would be sweet. Where I just draw pictures, um, and that's it. Just draw pictures all day. That'd be so much fun. Wonder if I have the creativity to do that. So that's actually something that I'm curious about because before this year, when I really started doing these pictures in earnest, I think that's the word. Um, like I thought that I had to be in the mood or I had to really kind of muster up the creativity and stuff. And I didn't feel like it was always accessible, right? Yeah, it'd be a sweet day job. Um, but there's probably things that pay the bills a little bit better than drawing pictures. But anyway, I guess I should clarify that for would-be artists out there. Like some of it, Like if you were looking to do this as your day job, there's probably commercial ways that you can actually profit off of your skill. Um, like as a graphic artist or something of that nature. But anyway, um, yeah. So what I was saying was is that I always thought that like it was harder to to like summon up the creativity, and that's one of the surprising things I've learned over this year. So like again, I started the year off with the goal or New Year's resolution, whatever you want to call it, of just being more creative, like just doing anything creative, really. Like it could have been drawing, it could have been like I don't know, like animating, it could have been like I don't know, just making videos in general, whatever, right? But like, I thought I'd give it drawing a shot. I even bought some lessons to learn the violin because I consider that to be a creative endeavor. But anyway, I thought it'd be much harder to um, find the energy to be creative. Like, you hear about people getting into like writer's block. I think there's the same thing with drawing, like artist block or whatever it's called. Um, But I found that like no, if I just set the goal of just doing one picture a day, and I don't care about the quality of it, like it doesn't have to be perfect. I just have to draw something that day. That's a totally doable goal. Like I know that a lot of people who watch this channel are creative types. I challenge you guys to do that, and it is one of those things where it's like who's got the time, right? And there's some truth to that. But if you set it as a minor goal, like if you say like, look, I don't care if I'm drawing a masterpiece. I just want to draw something. You can find an hour, half hour during the day while you're watching TV or something like that to create something, to draw a picture or whatever. Um, like if you commute, like if you're on the bus or something like that, you can draw people on the bus. People do that. And if you don't, well, you have to eat sometime, right? You can draw on the napkin while you're eating. Um, you can find the time to do a creative project every day is what I'm getting at. Or at least I found that it's not as hard as I thought it would be. And I am pretty lazy, guys. Like I'm definitely a lazy guy. Um, so if I can do it, anybody can do it. Because like I will find a way not to do something. Like I will spend hours trying to find a way not to do a 5 minute task. But this is one of those things that you owe it to yourself to do, I think. There you go, Rome. I'm glad I did. See? That's my sole goal is talk people into drawing. I don't know why, but it's rewarding to me. If I can influence you guys that like I want Packer Jack to draw something. I think he's got some secret creativity in him. He likes art, he collects art and things like that. I feel like anybody who collects art, they should give it a shot. So again, on these like lower layers and stuff, I'm just really trying to get like an undertone in. Um, like it's not as dark as I want it to be. It's not detailed. It's just basically giving me something to start with. And hopefully I don't lose my place. Like I did a sketch and I kind of have it mentally mapped of where like all the details go and stuff. And then I do have the reference picture to look at, but if I can influence you guys to draw instead of drink, I've done my job. Meanwhile, I'll be over here doing both. Um, yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. It's just so much more rewarding than I thought it was going to be. Like when I started the year off, I knew it'd be fun. I knew I would enjoy it, But I also thought it was going to be a chore. I thought it was something I'd have to like work at, and I honestly thought I was going to fail because I've done New Year's resolutions in the past. I mean, everybody has where they don't work out. You know, a good New Year's resolution is one that you make it to February on. Um, oh, cool. Hey, that's neat, man. For those of you who don't know, Rome is actually a dog. I encourage you guys to go to Rome's dog channel where he kind of like blogs the journey of Rome. It's kind of cool. So, what kind of dog is he? I really need to learn all these different breeds. I'm sure Rome will let us know. But yeah, certainly if you do like I've been doing lately, like there was a period where I had a little bit more free time. I always seem to get busy over the summer, but definitely during the winter, um, I was doing pretty good at like creating art every day. And that's actually something I hope to come back to, like as the summer starts drawing to a close. An Amstaff, neat. American Stafford Terrier. I would not have guessed that. See, I would have screwed that up. I'm glad you let us know. All my dogs are mutts. It's really easy. Like, well, it's a bit of this and a bit of that. Um, Bear, for example, has a little bit of German Shepherd in her, probably some Lab. I don't know. I do know that Guinness has some Border Collie because, like, Border Collies, they have this attention span that you always have to be like challenging them, or else they get bored and they kind of like take it out on you. Like if you're not entertaining them, then you'll suffer. Let's see. I think I had it where the nose kind of starts here and then it kind of comes up to here. And then this would be like up of the nose, I think. And I'll get some white in here as well. But you know, whenever I do this undertone, I try to pick the most predominant color. So in this case, the predominant color is black on the dog, but in the surroundings as well. Like I don't want to have to, you know, paint or paint, I guess is still correct with the pastel pencils. But I don't want to have to create every single like thing in the background. So I try to pick the most prominent color overall. And then, like I haven't gotten any requests like this, but I can imagine somebody might have the request where they're like, well, can you kind of make this match my furniture because it's going in the living room or something like that. And then, I might choose the tone that kind of incorporates the picture into their room, I guess, for like a cohesiveness. Um, no one's asked me that, but I could imagine that somebody might ask that. Like it's something I would ask if I was commissioning some art. Like, well, I kind of have a place for this in mind. Can you work on it from that standpoint? So I know the dog is black and white, but can you kind of like, you know, make sure it matches my couch or whatever? I don't know. People have weird requests. On this one, it was pretty straightforward. Just, like I don't know. It just sucks to lose your dog. It sucks. I actually think, from like as far as things that are devastating, this is pretty up there. As far as like life experiences that kind of like just make you wonder like, ah, how bad can it get? They don't live long enough. They really don't. Oh, interior design, that's cool. Well, see, so for somebody like you should be doing art that somebody would hang up on their wall or something. I don't know, like what do people hang up on their wall? I guess Probably like a lot of abstract art. Cool, cool. Oh, you know what? I forgot. Like I was planning on talking about this on Tuesday, but then I moved it to today. So it's been a couple of days since I went, but I did go to that art fair over the weekend, and it was super inspirational. Um, a lot of talented artists in this area. There's another one I plan to go to in fall. That's actually in Louisville, Packer, if you're still in the room. Um, but this one is like a little bit smaller scale, but it's in a beautiful setting. It's in this like nice wooded area with like these old growth trees, very, very southern, right? So like if you picture, um, I don't know, like in the movies when you see Savannah, Georgia, or New Orleans or something like that. That's what this park looks like. And I always go to that one every year just because it kind of marks the end of summer for me. So like it's kind of what I base my entire internal clock off of. But it's also nice. I like going to art fairs, not to like steal people's ideas. I wouldn't do that. But be inspired by people's ideas. And there was definitely some stuff that was inspiring this weekend, this past weekend. I want to do like some wood carving, to be honest with you guys. Um, there was there were some prints that somebody did. There was kind of like wood carving prints, and I've always been a fan of the old Japanese style woodcut prints, and I'd like to give that a shot. Actually, like do it exactly like they used to do it. So like you guys probably I don't remember the name of it, but you guys have probably seen it. There's um there's a Japanese woodcut print. I think that's the term. I don't know if I might be butchering what it's actually called. Um, but it's of like waves, and it's got I think Mount Fuji in the background, one of the mountains out there. I don't, I don't really know all the different mountains in Japan, but I always thought that was so cool. And I watched a documentary on how those are done, and while watching that documentary, I'm like, that would be fun. I want to do that. It's definitely a different style. It's more like I don't know, like not really a cartoony style, but very simplified, like heavy on the lines, less on the details, I guess. But the process is cool. Yeah, you literally carve the painting into a block of wood um, before making the print. So you're almost making the art twice. I just think that's kind of cool. If I got to get some colors out for the ear, I think maybe this is the base, like the inner ear. But it's also got some red to it, so I'm gonna have to come back with some red of some sort and kind of tint it a little bit. Just get that going a little bit so that I know where the ear is. But again, like everything else, I'll add more detail to that a little bit later on. So it seems like you guys aren't opposed to Wednesdays, but some people have some busy schedules and they're more used to Tuesdays, so I might switch back to that. I don't know. If you guys don't care, I'll do Wednesdays, but if you guys do care, this is your show, guys. I do whatever you guys want. I'm just a puppet. You guys tell me what to do, I do it. I'm here to entertain you. It's so much fun to work with, like, like these little shadows and stuff like that to build kind of like some form and structure to the ears. Like you saw how it was like just kind of like flat before. Let's see. So this definitely needs to come in just a little bit. And then shadow over. And this kind of comes down a little bit here. Yeah. Take some of that white off. And don't let me forget, guys, the Bentley mark. That's so important. And I kind of have a mark here I put in when I was sketching it to remind me. But it's here, I'll just kind of, it's going to be kind of hard to see with this lighting, but it's like this white streak here. And I'll give it some more shape, but you know, if that's where God touches you and says good boy, then that needs to go in there. I agree with that. That was the one request. Get some of the nose going here. I can honestly say this is my first time drawing this dog. Not just this dog, but this breed of dog. Australian, I think that's correct. They're called, some people call them healers, I think. Um, Bentley healers. I'm not sure if that's the same as an Australian cattle dog, but they got black in them, but it kind of comes off as blue. Uh, like when the sun, or not the sun, but the sky reflects on them. Yeah, it's a cool story. Like what I like literally, I only heard it today myself, but um, it's kind of a cool story. Has anybody tried this way of drawing? Like, has anybody gotten into this is for you guys who's not watching as well. Like if you watch this later, drop a comment down below. Like if you've actually like learned not just from this particular episode, but like any of them really. I'm kind of curious if anybody's actually applied or tried any of the things that I do. Um, like in this case, you know, taking watercolor paper, applying a tone to it with acrylics, or it could be watercolor, whatever you prefer, but just some sort of tone to it, and then applying that clear gesso to give it kind of sanded, and then coming back in and doing like pastels or colored pencils. I guess colored pencils would work too. If anybody's tried that, I'm really kind of curious. First off, like, did you hear about it from this show? Because that would be awesome. Um, and if not, then you know, just let me know what your experience is. Do you like it? Uh, was it a pain for you? Was it a chore? You know, feedback. That'd be kind of cool. And if you haven't tried it, is it just because you do something else, or you know, whatever? Just drop a comment. Let me know. Let me know what you guys do. Let me know how I can do it better because like I'm always trying to learn. Like I go out and I seek out other people's videos. Oh, watercolor with a colored pencil? Cool. Yeah. So like I actually like that a lot. I've done that too. Like I think I've talked about that before about how you can use colored pencils with watercolor to kind of like I don't know create some finer detail. To your point, get some good colors out of it. Um, yeah, I definitely support that. That's kind of what I'm thinking about. Hey, Richard, how's it going? Thank you. This is a doggo. It's a Australian. Ah, crap. I wrote it down. I've been drinking. Australian cattle dog. It's a healer. I think that probably means like it heals. I don't think it actually heals you. Like I don't know. Maybe it does. Spiritually, emotionally. Trying to get those values in here in this initial layer. So I think through here, let me see. I have a I have kind of a grayish one. Let me see what that looks like if I apply that. I'm afraid that might. Oh, that's cool. All right. So there is the face is mostly white, but I'm gonna kind of like put in a base coat of like this gray so that the white can come over it and kind of stand out. So like I said, working um in layers, there are some points where it doesn't look right. So like I'm not trying to make his face gray by putting all this gray down. I'm just trying to give it a nice little base coat. Like if it was painting, you would call it like an underpainting. I'd probably still call it that in this. Um, but that's so that like when you do come back with white over it, it kind of stands out and pops. Plus there's quite a bit of gray in here, actually. The gray is really just black hair poking through. Hey, Death. I never thought I'd say that. Hello, Death. You didn't come for me, did you? Hopefully not. Like Death of Doomsday. Is that the comic book character Doomsday? If you came for me, I'm a little busy today. Can we do tomorrow, maybe? I'm just kidding. Don't come tomorrow either. I love the markings on this dog. Ringo. I should have asked. I wonder if Ringo is named for like Ringo from the Beatles. I imagine that's probably true. He looks like a Ringo. Your actual name? Well, if I have to guess your actual name, I'm really screwed because like I'm not good with names anyway. It's starting to look like Ringo. I mean, there's like a lot more I have to do here, but it is starting to take a little bit of shape. Brother Richard, oh brother, I don't know. I think I know who you are, but I'm not gonna out you. There's only a few people I know who call each other brother. It's good to see you though. I do like how there is this community on YouTube who watches each other's videos and stuff like that, and that's really cool. Like I appreciate you guys. Like I know that a lot of you guys so there's like two groups of people who watch this show, right? Well, three groups, I guess. My own friends who show up very rarely. Like even though I told them, hey, I'm doing this thing on YouTube, you should come and watch it. They never show up, but sometimes they do. And so there's those guys. There are people who kind of have a passing interest in art, but they don't actually create art so much themselves. They just know me from like other places or something, and they show up. And I think that's awesome. I really appreciate you guys supporting me. And then there's like people who, yeah. I can finish this sentence. Um, I mean, do you want me to guess or what? But so there are people who know me who show up, and I really appreciate that support. I know that you guys are just passively interested in art. Maybe you guys create some art yourself, but not that much. You're just doing it for fun. Um, but and then there's like the people, the art people who show up because like they create art and they're part of the YouTube community. Maybe they have their own channel, but they're actually out there actually creating art all the time. And then there's actually a group of people who just tune into it. Like I've heard this. This is actually a true story. Like people say they tune in just to fall asleep. Like for some reason, I put them to sleep, which is cool. You know, I mean, if that's your thing, if I'm gonna like put you to sleep, if that's how you enjoy this show, I'm not gonna criticize it. I appreciate you guys tuning in so that I can put you to sleep. These days, like I can fall asleep on a dime. So like if I was watching this show, um, I long live. Let's see. Who cares? I'm telling you, get a big curly wig and talk like Bob Ross. I appreciate that. Who cares? No, that guy, man, I love Bob Ross. I should get like I should do the big curly wig just as a joke. I could probably pull him off. So the Ringo here has a happy little nostril. We're gonna put a happy little nostril in here. He's got a happy little ear. You know, all of those Bob Rosses, I think they're pretty much everywhere, but I think they're on Netflix. I'm gonna go back and watch some of them because that guy can draw some mountains for real. There are some things I learned from his show, even as a kid. Like that's back when I used to watch it. Um, like how he would do reflections in water. How he would do like the highlights and the bark on trees. Like that guy could draw a mean aspen tree. Like I didn't even know what an aspen tree was, but I knew how to paint it from his show. You know, even as a kid. Yeah, I need a bad pencil. You want me to say who you are, Doomsday? Because I think I know. Like you can tell me if I'm wrong. Why the name change? That's what I'm wondering. I love guessing games. Oh, and then like a lot of the people who show up are from that treasure hunting puzzle group that I'm in. Um, you know, basically puzzle solvers, which it's cool. You know, I appreciate you guys. That's Burger Plant. I don't know, Doomsday. I was thinking about taking a trip to Cody, Wyoming. How would you feel about that? If I went to Cody, would you go with me? I bet you would. Bet we'd have a great time there too. Maybe do a little fishing. How's it going, Tyler? Appreciate you stopping in tonight. I like the name. I mean, it's kind of scary, but as long as you ain't showing up for me, then you can call yourself whatever you want. If you're here to collect somebody else, that's entirely your business. No, it's good to see you, Tyler. Hope you're doing well. Take his mouth out a little bit out here. He's got a cute little smile too in this picture. Just a hint of a smile, really. I think all dogs smile, even when they're like snarling. It's hard to look at. Oh, she also had some pictures. So like, I think she basically let me choose what pictures I would want to use as a reference and stuff. I thought this was a great pose. There were some other options though. But she had a picture of Ringo as a little puppy. Oh my God. Maybe I should share that. I'd have to ask her. But maybe I should share that picture at some point because Ringo as a puppy, oh man, it's just this ball of fur. It's so cute. So cute. So I'm doing mostly black on this fur, but there are some hints of blue in here, so I'm gonna have to work that in kind of towards the end. Because usually black reflects the sky and long live Cody. Yeah, that's your catch line, man. You can go anywhere you want, and people will recognize you by that. Just to let you know, you don't have to hide out here. You can come in here anytime you want and use your real name if you want, if you're going incognito. Honestly, I would recognize you by the excessive amount of emoticons. Like, what happened yesterday morning, Tyler? This paper texture is like, once I learned that technique for like creating kind of basically sanded paper on the cheap, I love it. I just love how well it holds the pastel in. I love the sound of drawing on it. I love the feel of it. I've said it before, but like, there's a lot of benefit in being, I guess they call it a traditional artist nowadays. Guess what happened yesterday morning? You saw a UFO. It's always a guess with Tyler. Like Tyler will come in and say, "Guess what happened," and literally give you no context, nothing to go off of. You just have to kind of guess, and that is the appropriate response for when Tyler asks you, like, guess what? Is just come up with the most random thing you can think of, because he'll eventually tell you. Tyler's going to tell you exactly what happened yesterday. Yeah. So yeah. Great question. Who cares? So yeah. So like people who are digital artists, like that wasn't even a thing, 10, 20, well, probably 10 years ago it was, but, long enough back, right? So, and, like digital art is real art, you're creating in pixels, but you are like pixels are your medium, but I mean, people have to have just as much skill. It's arguably easier. Um, and it's cheaper because you don't have to buy like art supplies or whatever. So there's nothing I've got to say bad about digital art. But there is kind of like this distinction between like digital art and what has become known as traditional art, um, because like it is different, right? So like here I am drawing on paper. And that is fundamentally different than drawing on like an iPad or something like that. So you kind of have to, especially like when somebody's looking at a like a JPEG of it, like just some picture of it, you don't know sometimes whether it was drawn digitally or whether it was painted, with paint and stuff like that. So they came up with the term traditional artist. I don't know if I like that term, but anyway, um, I'm more of a traditional artist when it comes to this stuff because, and that's kind of what I was trying to get at. It's like the reason why I'm a traditional artist is I just love the feel of this stuff. I love the smell of the art supplies. I love when I go and apply fixing to this later. I love that it smells like spray paint. Um, I don't like the price. Like art supplies are yeah, more forgiving. So like, um, you can delete a mistake and you can kind of like just you can delete a whole layer of mistakes. So like that's the other thing. So like I talk about drawing in layers here. Um, if you were if you were doing this on an iPad, you can do those isolated, right? So like these like little black pieces of fur that can be on its own layer. It's it really is nice, and it's a lot quicker. So like people who do like comic books or whatever, they're almost completely digital now. Um, what one could argue like, what's the point of traditional? But it's like, what's the point of doing art anyway? It's like everybody's got their own thing, and it's really about being creative. So it's like whatever works best for you. Um, if you feel more comfortable doing digital art, then I'm not going to be the guy who tells you you're doing it wrong. Um, but if you do like, classic art, that I think that that's a better term for it, classic art. Uh, I'm right there with you then, because like I like the tactile experience of classic art or traditional art or whatever you want to call it. You're not going to feel this texture. I don't know. Maybe you spilled something on your iPad or something, and you might feel that texture, but you're not going to feel that using an iPad. But it's whatever works for you guys. Like if you enjoy um, the convenience of an iPad or something like that, then go for it. As long as you're creating something, as long as you're expressing yourself through your art, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, the excessive emoticons. Like for some reason, Tyler feels the need to put in, and they're always the smiley faces where it's like crying on the sides, and they're always like tilted, and there's always at least 5 to 7 of them. Yeah, having something tangible. Yeah. So like, even then, the lines between traditional art and digital art are getting blurred because like printing has come down a lot in price as well. So like, like if I did create like a digital art piece, you can go to like a Staples still in business. It's hard to tell. You can go to some place that does printing, and you can have like a copy of it printed out and stuff like that. That's not really a problem so much anymore, and it really depends on what you're buying it for. So like, if you're buying it to decorate your living room or something, then what does it matter if it's an original or if it's a print? Ultimately, if you're collecting, like if you're collecting like a well-known artist or something, then it might matter. Because like prints are a dime a dozen, but like it really depends on what you're buying it for. Yeah, there is no well, yeah, there is no original. Like people have kind of like approximated that a bit as well. It's like probably heard of like NFTs. That's supposed to kind of represent the original. But yeah, I don't know. It's all smoke and mirrors and stuff. It really depends on what you're creating it for. Like if you're creating a piece of art for fun, just because you think it's cool, like say you're doing like an anime character or something like that. I don't know if it really matters, the original for that. Um, But if you're creating a painting of of your dog, for example, then yeah, NFTs are dumb. I agree with that. Um, I don't see a lot of people talking about NFTs anymore. I think a lot of people have realized that maybe that was overhyped. Yes, I did see the Indiana Jones movie. It's got its problems, but overall, I enjoyed it. Yeah, NFTs are dumb. I agree with you. Who cares? Um, I don't know. Somebody out there who knows more about them than me may be able to correct me on why they're not dumb or whatever. But from all appearances, they are not what they were kind of described as. But I think the idea behind that behind NFTs is it they would create this kind of like um, so like if I have the original, right, the original picture of this dog, for example, and for some reason it had value, like either it had value because I'm a famous artist, or it had value just because it's a beautiful work of art. Neither of these are true here. The picture's going to come out the best I can do, but it's still not going to be like something Da Vinci did, right? Like I or Bob Ross even. Um, but it has a limited amount of value, right? Like I value it because it's a beautiful picture. Hopefully, the person I'm doing this for values it because it's her dog. Um, but overall, you know, it's got some value, right? But it is also an original, so it's like if you made a copy of this, and that value is kind of cheapened um, because it's no longer the original, right? Well, that's problematic when it comes to digital stuff because, like, again, to your point, who cares? Like how do you even define the original of a digital piece? And and yeah, I think that's the problem they were trying to solve with NFTs. I just don't think they were very successful yet. Like it may catch on eventually, and they may do some corrections on that or whatever. But right now, it's just it's overhyped. That's my view on it. And of course, I'm not an expert on NFTs, so maybe there's something I'm missing. But I think a lot of people feel that way, to be honest. Tea time, good for you, man. That kava tea that you love. I love it when dogs have like this kind of feature, or spots or things like that. Really, really gives a lot to work with. But yeah, NFTs are dumb. Crypto's dumb. Except, like at least there's money in crypto. I kind of wish I started drawing a little bit sooner because like back when NFTs weren't dumb, like they were always dumb, but at least they had some value back then. Like last year even, people were minting and trading and selling, and people made a lot of money off of that. So like dumb as they are, if somebody's making money off of it, then they have at least some value. Oh, you stopped drinking kava? Imposter! You're not really Tyler then. Hey, Husker, how's it going? We are drawing a Australian cattle dog or Hessler, specifically a dog, beautiful dog named Ringo, which I suspect, but I'm not totally sure, is named after the singer, the musician. Yeah. So, like if you want to talk a little bit of tech, they are trying to solve that too. They're trying to solve the problems with blockchains being so slow. And I think, I don't know. Oh, I'm doing great, Husker. I appreciate you asking. Hopefully, you're doing well. Um, so, like, yeah, they're trying to solve the speed problem. I think the problem is that all the things that crypto is good for, there's other ways to do it. Now, they try to argue like that it's decentralized and, more secure. Maybe some of that stuff's true, but then you find out that it's not really decentralized and they still have security problems. But, a blockchain, which is basically a digital ledger, is, there's other things that already do that. Like a database, for example, is also a digital ledger. It's like, do you really need this extra thing? And some might argue yes, and like they may be right. I don't know, but these things already exist. Now the question is blockchain better? Maybe. I just know that it's not better at the moment. Like they do have speed issues, they do have security issues, they have all the same issues everybody else has. But They are trying to solve that. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. So you know, there are like second layer things where they try to like if it takes too long to look at the entire ledger, there's like this extra layer above it, which, I might be using the wrong term, but it feels like an index of it so that they can speed things up. I think they call that layer two stuff. Um, maybe, maybe that'll get there, but I feel like it's a lot further off than what they're thinking. Like right now, it's basically just like a currency, but the actual practical use of blockchain. And don't get me wrong, as a programmer, I would, I look at blockchain and I'm like, do I really want to work with this? And back during the big crypto boom of like last year, or maybe it was the year before, I lose track of time. I was looking at it. I was like, maybe I do want to develop where instead of a database, I'm storing things on the blockchain. Um, but ultimately, if you're going to be doing that and nobody really gets into it because the whole thing is dumb, then I don't know. So they're trying to solve that as well. So who cares? That's a great comment. So yes, traditionally it is bad for the environment, and I think Bitcoin is still bad for the environment. But Ethereum and some of the other crypto is not as bad for the environment anymore because what the problem was is it took a lot of electricity to mint these coins to process the cryptography. Uh, like I'm trying to explain this just like in basic terms. So to solve the to solve the cryptography to verify that the chain has not been tampered with, it does take a lot of electricity. However, but they call that proof of work. However, there are some cryptos out there that no longer use proof of work and therefore use less electricity. Instead, they came up with something called a proof of stake, and the proof of stake does not suffer those same problems. So they are working on these. So like the proof of stake is basically I would put up a certain amount of coin to say that if somebody does tamper with my ledger, then you can have this crypto. And like that's my investment in getting this right. Um, so that doesn't have the same problems as the type of crypto that crunches those numbers and uses up a lot of electricity to solve that cryptographic thing. Hopefully that made sense because I don't feel like it made sense. The point is they are trying to resolve some of these. Yeah, yeah. So like they're working on it. Who cares? Um, I like saying that they're working on it. Who cares? Who cares that they're working on it? I don't know. I feel like it's something that will be early morning flight, but I wanted to say hello and see your newest drawing. Another sweet pup. Dogs are the best. Thank you so much, Husker Du. Be safe on your flight. I hope you have a great trip. This one's for somebody who requested it because, like, I don't know, it's just beautiful dog, beautiful dog. So I don't see it as like a chore at all drawing dogs when they're this beautiful. Honestly, I've not drawn an ugly dog to date, so I don't know what it would look like to draw an ugly dog, but like it seems like most of my requests come from you guys, and you all have these beautiful dogs. Bear's still wondering why I haven't drawn her yet, and I think she has a good point. I should really draw her at some point. It's actually Marble's birthday, Tyler. So she's probably out celebrating. So and everybody like wish Marble a happy birthday. Yeah, for this dog, I would take a bullet for this dog. Absolutely. I gotta get some more definition on this eye over here. I'll have to work on that, but I'm not that concerned about it at the moment. I'm gonna reposition this reference art, so I have to look at it a little bit better. Gotta get some more definition in this nose. I think some of this will come later. I'm still in the phase where I'm just kind of getting the basics of it down. Yeah, happy birthday, Marvel. Cool. Hey everyone. Yeah, so yeah, like I didn't know if she wanted me to say that, but yeah, this is Gigi's dog. This is Gigi's dog, Ringo. Apparently an adventurer. Uh, Always went on hikes with Gigi, um, which, if you guys know where Gigi lives, that's some incredible territory out there. She's always posting these pictures of mountain views and the desert out there and stuff. Those are places that I travel. Like she basically lives where I went adventuring myself, and it's always so nice to see these pictures. It's marble. It's marble rose. Like I say marble a lot myself, so it's okay to be confused. It kind of sucks because like usually when I'm drawing a picture and it's somebody's birthday, I'm like, oh, I'll just give you this picture for your birthday present. I can't do that in this case. That sucks. Let's see, how are we doing on time? Oh, yeah. Hour and 16 minutes on it. I barely got the face done. Well, if I get the face done tonight, we've been chatting a lot, but if I get the face done tonight, I feel like I'll feel pretty good. Let's see. I had some blue here. See, probably won't even notice this, but I wanted to get some blue into this black. Like in this lighting, you probably won't see the difference, but this actually comes up above the other eye, so right up here actually. Make some adjustments there. All right, so this is going to be a bit of a challenge because you got some fur just flying all over the place over here. So let me use my gray here. Hopefully she won't mind. Draw a mud hut next to the dog. Is that the clay ovens that they have out there? I should really draw Taos. I've been there. I've got a bunch of photos of it. Um, Beautiful place. Like, I don't know if I've talked about that, but yeah, Taos is a an Indian pueblo that has been continuously lived in for over 1,000 years. And basically, the people who lived in that pueblo 1,000 years ago still live there today. Like, obviously, not they're not vampires. Their descendants still live there today, and it's kind of cool. I got to go there and I got to tour the place and took a bunch of cool pictures and stuff. But it's basically exactly what you would expect, like an Indian pueblo to be, and that's what's so cool about it. It's very authentic. It's different to go and see some of the other pueblos that have been kind of like abandoned and they're just historical sites now. Like literally, people live there at this one, and like the entire town has grown up around it. Yeah, so they do have oh, Meze Verde. That sounds cool. Man, that's like the vacation I want to take. That's cool. That sounds awesome, Husker. Make sure you get a lot of pictures and stuff. Let's see, I think there's some fur that kind of comes off like this. Hopefully that's not just shadows and mistakes and stuff. A little bit darker through here. Yeah, so they have this they do have the mud huts, Tyler, and they have like these little mini domes and stuff that they cook their food in. Honestly, it would be great for pizza. Like they're basically like little brick ovens, and I think that's just so cool. You know, like I actually looked into like what it would take to make one of those at some point because I wouldn't mind having one in my backyard just for making pizza. And you know, it's basically just clay and straw, adobe. You know, um, I think there's some other prep in it, like involved so that you don't just like set fire to your yard or whatever. But you know, back in the day, they knew how to live. Everything was a lot simpler. But yeah, that would be great for like a brick oven. Neat. I almost got a chance to tour Bandelier, but I got there too late in the day. Like I was passing through. I actually went from Taos down through what do they call it? Whatever the old volcano is there, like but down through that area, and I was planning on going through Santa Fe, and it just got too late in the day. The problem is I went to like outside of Taos is the red the gosh the big gorge. The but they have like a hot spring down there, Manby Hot Springs, I think, on the Rio Grande, and I spent way too much time there. I was only planning on being there for like a little while, but it got late in the day, and I was wanting to stop in at Bandelier just to see it. Like I wasn't planning on touring it or anything like that, but nah, it just got away from me, and I kind of feel bad because like I don't know, I've been out there so many times. Um, and I didn't do any of the touristy stuff that I feel like I should have done. Like I've never actually been to Santa Fe, but I've been like adjacent to Santa Fe so many times. Mos Eisley House, yeah, it's, like on Tatooine. Uh, yeah, it's where Luke lived with his uncle and aunt. But yeah, I didn't even get to Santa Fe. I spent a little bit of time in Taos, just looking at like some of the galleries they have out there and stuff like that. I didn't get to I didn't get to go into any museums or anything. I was on a mission. I was looking for gold. Guess what you found out tonight? That UFOs are real, Tyler? Is that what you found out? What'd you find out? You have us guess. Why don't you just tell us what you found out? Could be literally anything. Like, I don't know. If I had to guess, you found out that um, someone left you an inheritance for $30 million. And upon learning that, oh, you already found out. Um, my Ukrainian sister gets to live out her dream life officially now. Oh, in New York, like, did she just move to New York, or has she lived in New York for a while? That's kind of cool, Tyler. Meze Verde has some great hikes. I imagine that's so true. I'm so jealous. Well, I'm not that jealous because I could just go out there myself. I should. I'm disappointed in myself. There you go. That's what I really need. I'm disappointed because I had the opportunity to go to places like that and I just didn't. That seems like a failure. When you have the opportunity to take something in, like Mesa Verde or, you know, Bandolier or even Santa Fe, like I still can't believe I never went to Santa Fe. Have a good one, Husker Du. Enjoy your trip. Let us know how it went when you get back. That's cool. I love that people are having adventures like that. You guys are an adventuresome lot. So, I always forget to mention, like my process here and stuff. If you notice, I'm just laying down marks and then I'm blending it out and then I'm coming back and adding, um, you know, basically adding them back in and stuff, just like more defined, just creating that depth to the fur that makes it look realistic. I'm not worried about individual strands of hair or anything like that. It's just, getting the big patches and stuff. Like some of this stuff may actually get covered up anyway because like I'll come back with some white and like reinforce that. Like right now with this undertone being gray, a lot of this area looks kind of white, but it's not really white. I'll definitely be adding in some areas that are like really stark white, like just to reinforce that this is white and not like gray. But for the most part, it looks kind of gray. There's definitely some gray in this fur, some darker areas. Just trying to capture the movement of the fur really at this point. And I guess I should probably how are we doing on time? I should probably kind of like at least put in enough for a thumbnail here. I always do these I do these streams and I worry about the thumbnail after a while. I'm like, oh man, that's gonna look like a crappy thumbnail if I don't step it up a bit. I think you would enjoy living in Wyoming, Tyler. Oh, Montana, sorry, not Wyoming. Two different places. I always look at them like kind of synonymous. From what I've heard of it. I've never been to I never actually went to Montana or Wyoming. All my trips out to the west were to like New Mexico, but they were a lot of fun. I went to cowboy country, like not just cowboy, but bandits. Like Billy the Kid, Frank and Jesse James, basically all that stuff that you see in Young Guns. That was my adventures. I went to the St. James Hotel there in Cimarron. I think that's where it was. Cimarron, New Mexico. And that place is cool. They have a plaque up on the wall where it shows all the people who had stayed there. You had Billy the Kid, Pat Garrett, some other names I don't recognize, but they're famous people from like history. And what I thought was cool is like you always see in the movies like where they're playing cards or something and somebody gets excited and they shoot up the ceiling like pow 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 pow, right? It's kind of neat if you go into the bar there at the St. James Hotel in Cimarron. There's actually bullet holes in the ceiling from where that happened, and apparently that's all like historically accurate. They preserve those just because that's so interesting. And then, they say it's haunted, things like that. I think it's been in some like ghost hunting shows and everything. I don't know about that. I didn't actually stay there. I just went there for a drink. I went Oh, Cherokee Park. Yeah, Cherokee Park has seen better days. Yeah, the bullet holes in the ceiling. Yeah, that's cool, Tyler. Well, fun. Yeah, Cherokee Park has been kind of beat up with that treasure hunt that's going on out there. I feel kind of bad for them. Um, I can go out there and take video for you guys, but yeah, it's some of the features of the place, like the fountains and like rock walls and stuff like that. People have like pulled that apart. It just kind of sucks. That's the downside to like, when you run a treasure hunt or whatever, people don't respect that kind of stuff. They'll dig a hole and not fill it in, and then you'll get all these like craters. Somebody walking around might fall in them and break a foot or something like that. That would suck. So he's kind of got like this mane that comes through here. It's basically like, I mean, it's basically a roll of fur, but it kind of looks like a mane. It's kind of neat. Kind of pencil that in. On the tips, there's like highlights of white fur. And then that kind of comes down to like this is like his like little dog tag. This roll kind of comes down to that. One of the other challenges is this is for Gigi, and I know that she's a painter. Like she does paintings and stuff. And I think I shared one of her thing when I was doing the viewer art, but I know that I know that she's got a critical eye. Like I don't know if I actually want to do drawings for people who are actually good at doing drawings because like they'll see features and stuff that I forgot to put in or whatever. A lot of pressure on me here, guys. Ever see a dinosaur? How come nobody ever see dinosaur ghosts? The name of the park, what, there in Louisville? Yeah, it's Cherokee Park. I've been out there a couple of times, but yeah, to uh, to what who cares says, yeah, I would definitely fill in a hole if I ever dug a hole looking for some sort of treasure or something like that. There's proper ways to go about that. You just basically bring a tarp and whatever you dig up, you put on the tarp and it goes back in the hole when you're done. But you're really supposed to get permission and stuff like that. And you really shouldn't be digging holes. Like here on this YouTube channel, I'm going to advise you guys don't go digging holes anywhere. That is my official position. Do not dig holes. Now my unofficial position is if there's gold in that hole, you better dig that hole. No, I'm just kidding. Don't dig any holes unless there's gold in it. I don't know. It's just dirt, guys. Like, definitely. Okay, so I will officially say this: do not ever vandalize property. There you go. That's a better way to put it. Because they're not just digging holes. Like the holes are kind of like a blight, especially when they don't fill them in or whatever. But there in Cherokee Park, there's an old fountain, this like from the 1800s or something. I don't know exactly when it was built. Like I probably had that in my notes somewhere, but that thing they pulled rocks off of that, and it's like, man, that is just disrespectful. Because like it's a beautiful fountain. It's got this feature that looks like a dragon ship, and it's got this retainer wall behind it. They have literally pulled stones off of that retainer wall. Trying to get permission to dig in a park down there, like in Kentucky. I mean, that's the way to go about it. If you get permission and stuff like that. Like if you're looking at Cherokee Park, I don't even know who you would ask to get permission to dig there. If you're looking for like the secret treasure or something like that. Oh, in Kentucky. Oh, that's cool. If you find out how to get permission for that, oh, not Cherokee, but in Louisville, sorry, and I get excited when people start talking about treasure. That's funny. Thank you, kid. Um, so you don't have to say where, but like, is it in a Louisville park? Like, because I really don't know who you would ask for permission. I'm not trying to figure out where you're like looking and stuff. I've actually given up on that treasure hunt. I've been out there to Cherokee Park several times. Um, oh, okay, all right, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Hey, if you want me to go out and take pictures for you, I'm happy to take pictures. Um, probably like I may get out there sooner. But the yeah, I'd have to go back and look through those DMs. But uh I may get out there sooner, but I think the next time is probably October, which seems far off. I think I'll probably get out there before then. But thank you for reminding me. I do need to go back and look through those things because other people have asked me to go out there and look and take pictures and stuff for them as well. And I did some of that, I think, in spring of this year. I kind of lose track of time. The last time I was out there, I think, was spring. It's been a little while. Well, I mean, somebody's got to dig. I'm not digging for you. I'll take pictures, but I'm not digging. I've kind of personally given up. Like I don't mind going out there and looking for other people, but I've personally given up on finding that thing because my idea was that it was at the fountain there, the Christensen fountain, that dragon fountain, and recently the Kit Palancar he ruled that out, or at least that's my understanding. I think there was a Facebook post or something that ruled that out, so I've kind of given up on that, or at least I don't have a better solve myself. Now, if I go out there and I look for it for somebody else, that's their solve. That's not my solve. I'm just basically helping them out, like boots on the ground for them and stuff. Because like I know a lot of people can't travel. Like I would have loved it like when I was looking in New Mexico for that treasure. I would have loved it if somebody like well, that was $1 million, so it's a little harder to trust somebody. But it would have been nice if I could have got somebody out there trusted to take pictures for me and stuff, and kind of like rule out certain things. That would have been nice. So, like, since I live in Kentucky, um, I like returning that favor. Now, I live in central Kentucky, so I don't live in Louisville. If I lived in Louisville, I would go out there like anytime somebody wanted, but it's like an hour away. So I usually like to knock that stuff out when I'm, like in the area. But you contacted me through a different name than Who Cares, didn't you? I think that's the reason why I didn't jog my memory. Basically, the next time I go out there, I was going to go through all my lists and stuff and kind of like refresh my memory on what people asked for. I did say I was terrible with names. Yeah, a cask is definitely different. Um, these casks are probably even different than his jars because now the secret cask. Oh, okay, yeah, okay, all right, yeah, yeah, different name. Sorry. Thank you for reminding me. But I will probably be getting out there in the next couple months. So like feel free to give me any kind of updated instruction. I'll be happy to look for you. Take photos, whatever you need. Yeah, I didn't know that's who you were. Who cares? I probably should have known that, but I suck at these things. Um, but yeah, so like I wouldn't even say these casts are like forced jars, you know, like um it's got a value to it. Like there's like $2,000 as the prize money and stuff like that, but it doesn't have the same kind of notoriety, you know. Like if you found one of the original secrets, I mean that's to me that's almost bigger than Forrest Finn's. I don't know if it's bigger in terms of like monetary value, but as far as street cred, there's only like 12 of those, and they've been out there since the 80s. To me, finding one of those is harder. Well, maybe not harder, but it's a big deal if you found one of the secret casts. Yeah, my solve was for the Christensen fountain, and the guy ruled it out. To me, like when you look at the verse for that, like for those of you guys who aren't treasure hunters, by the way, like just to let you, like say you're some casual person who came in because you like the picture of the dog, and you have no idea what we're actually talking about. So me and a group of other people like are interested in like treasure hunts, and these are like basically these like puzzles that you have to solve, and they're pretty big. There's a number of them out there. Like the biggest one, I still say is Forrest Finn's, where he had $1 million in actual gold hidden out in the Rocky Mountains, and you know he challenged everybody to go and look for it. Well, that was recently found over the last couple of years, and but there's a bunch of other ones. Like another one is like The Secret, where there's actually art that you're supposed to you know find clues in, and there's like poems involved, like they call them verses, and you solve these things and then you go out looking for them. It's kind of like a breakout room, and if you solve it, you get the prize, right? So for those of you who have no idea what we're talking about, that's what we're talking about. They're basically these like community driven puzzles. Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it. Um, Somehow I have to carve a collar out of this, but I'm not happy with that yet, but I'll work on it. Anyway, that's kind of what we're talking about. So there's one in Louisville. It's kind of a tribute to another treasure hunt. Dog coughing of like a cat with a hairball. So there's one in Louisville that's based on this previous treasure hunt from the 1980s called The Secret. And there's a painting, there's clues in the painting, and there's like an accompanying there's a verse that goes along with it is what I'm trying to say. And if you figure out the clues, you find a cask, like something in the ground. These things are buried, but basically you take that cask and you can exchange it for you know like a gemstone, and the gemstone and some of the other items it's worth about $2,000, but $2,000 isn't nothing to sneeze at. I mean if I had an extra $2,000 that would be great, but it's really about the it's about the street cred, you know, like being able to solve the puzzle, right? So we're just a bunch of puzzle solvers essentially, and there's some smart people out there who's been looking into these things, and you know, it's tough. It's a challenge because like these are puzzles that occur in the real world, right? So you have to actually go. We call it boots on the ground. So you have to go boots on the ground to the spot and actually, in this case, dig for them. And it's usually like in a public park or something like that. Forest Fins was out like in the entire Rocky Mountains, so like who knows where that was. Um, but it's about finding all the gems and making a crown. You have to get all six of them so that you can put them in your gauntlet. That's what it's about. Now there was like 12. Actually, this would be the 13th one. Um, yeah, it's all about getting all of those gemstones so that you can like change reality. Um, but no, it's a lot of fun. You know, like it's definitely I don't know, for somebody like me who just enjoys puzzles, and I've always enjoyed mysteries, and you know, like Sherlock Holmes is like my favorite literary character since I was a kid. Um, it's very attractive. Like so, when you're looking for things to do, why not you know puzzle solve? But it gets more complicated from there. That's the gist of it. For those who have no idea what the hell we're talking about. Forest Winds was definitely the big one. That's where I met most of the people who hang out here. Yeah, flip people off with your infinity gauntlet with all the secret stones in it. I love it. But as far as the secret goes, like I said, there's only 12. And, considering it came out in the 1980s, the chances of anybody actually finding one at this point, it's pretty miraculous. And, if you, again, for those who have no idea what we're talking about, if you've ever seen Expedition Unknown with Josh Gates, um, like he's really into the secret. That's like a pet thing that he's really into. So like if you find one of these things, at minimum, you're going to end up on his show. It's a big deal. And you get inducted into this exclusive group because like only three of these things have been found because probably the rest of them are kind of like probably lost in construction zones or whatever. But the one in Louisville is actually a tribute to that treasure hunt, so it's probably still out there, and it's probably easier to find than something that was hidden during the 1980s or whatever. But I feel like I'm not making very much progress on this picture. Like I'm looking at how far I've gotten and how long it's taken. Um, but at least there's a face there. That's good. But I've got the rest of his body to do. That's some of these things. They take more than one day. So I'll get there. It's all this talking and having fun. I actually enjoy this better than just like mindlessly drawing. I like multitasking and having a conversation while I'm doing it. So to me, this is not bad time at all. If something takes longer because I'm actually enjoying myself and having a good chat with you guys, I love it. It was never my goal to actually finish this in one sitting anyway. Like just because I've done enough of these to where I know that um, they take a little bit longer than like say my charcoal portraits that I work on. Those are pretty consistent actually. Like I'm surprised those only really take like an hour and a half, and then those are done. But whenever you're dealing with like the detail of um, animal fur, things like that, it's just going to take a little while. It's just part of the process. No, it's totally fine. Like again, it's a live stream and chat. Basically, I'm drawing while we're chatting. During these things, the chat is really what it's about. We're just hanging out, having a good time. Um, if I wanted to solely focus on the picture itself, I wouldn't be doing a live stream out of it. I would just draw it and then put it up as a video or something like that. Now, Tyler, you just changed your entire name. What are you doing, man? You're confusing the rest of us. But no, I should be going out there. I don't, at least by October, because I'm going out there in October um, for the. That's weird. So, like at the St. James Hotel I mentioned earlier, but I'm going out there for the St. James Art Festival in October. Um, for those of you guys who know Copper Dan, he actually shows his artwork at the St. James Art Fair. So, like, I kind of knew that last year, but I wasn't able to make it. But this year, I'm definitely going to go for that. So while I'm out there in Louisville, anyway, I'll take pictures for anybody who's interested in that treasure hunt. I'll check out spots. I'm not going to dig anything up, but if you want more information on your saw, I'm happy to oblige on that. Just because my solve was ruled out, so like I'm a little salty about that. But like I was for sure it was going to be in or around that Christensen fountain. I'm never very good at these things. You're gonna change my mind about Jacob? Oh, okay, all right. I'm open to having my mind changed. So if you think you can do it, I know that there are some people who think that it's not in Cherokee Park. It's just for me, I always thought it was. Of course, I ain't found it, so what do I know? I don't know nothing. That's that's the problem. I'm gonna try to get this white. I think this was a central feature that she requested, so I'm gonna make sure that I put that in before I call it quits for the night. I like how stark white that is. And then next to it, a little bit of black. Let me get that in there just to kind of separate those two. And then through here it gets a little brown, but let me see if I can get the glint on the eyes before. Yeah, cool. And then another little mark right here. Like these little details, they're so important. I'm gonna have to read back through your notes because like you seem pretty convinced that it's not Cherokee Park. So now I'm kind of curious why. You probably can convince me otherwise because like I was pretty certain that it was going to be in Cherokee Park around that Christensen fountain, but now I'm not so sure. That's the way it always goes with these treasure hunts, though. Like I'm pretty certain of things until somebody says, "Well, no, it's not there." I'm like, "Well, maybe I'm just not very good at it." Let's see. All right. Now this is going to be a bit of a challenge because like basically all through here it's it's basically black markings through here. So I'm going to instead focus on the parts that are solid black just to get those kind of going. Like through here, this is all solid black. Yeah, there's all kinds of weird things that you learn on this channel. Let's see, all right, so this comes down, lines up with the palm, and then kind of comes up through here. So I think through here sounds about right. And then this part comes down through here. Just kind of keep looking at my reference picture. So through here, it's all dark. And then it kind of comes back up over the, I guess, haunch. And then up in through here. So basically all, like, that's all black. So I will get some pastel down, and I'll blend that out. It's always so awkward drawing on camera when you have to like reach across the thing. Make some illustrations. I like the idea, the sound of that. Make some illustrations. One might say, I'm a visual person. I always love it when people say that. Like nobody's not a visual person. I mean, people learn in different ways. Like some people like hands-on learning, but truth of it is everybody's a visual person. Unless, of course, you're like blind or something like that. I don't want to diminish the experience of those people. But if you have eyes to see and they're working and all of that, then we're all visual people. So of course this looks gray, but eventually it'll be black. You guys know the drill. So I think that's a good start. So through here, and then this, just kind of roughing in the different layers of like rolls, essentially. It's probably a better way to say it than that, but the kind of rolls of fur. I mean, they are kind of rolls of fur. I don't know. Yeah, we should be able to call them rolls of fur. So that's all through here. Yeah, I got a ways to go on this picture, but at least it's a good start. It looks like a puppy. I do kind of like that I am able to bring a variety of different types of drawings to you guys as well. Because, like, I do like exploring and trying different things and stuff. So, um, like some people, they are kind of known for drawing specific things. I might get there at some point. Like, I might develop a style that I'm consistent with. I might get to a point where I'm drawing consistent things. Like, some people just draw the same thing all the time. I think it'll be a while before I ever get to that point though, because like I do enjoy drawing so many different things. Like I get a lot of like actual satisfaction and joy out of drawing people's pets, because I know it's important to them. But I also enjoy just drawing like a bunch of different random things. So like probably I'll be getting back to my portraits at some point, and I'll be doing more things like Gizmo. It's always going to be variety on this show, I think. At some point, I would like to actually draw like a full blown comic. I've been watching. some YouTube channels where they basically narrate. It's almost like an audiobook um, of like comics and stuff. Like I've been a lot of Batman stories, and I've been enjoying that. So like it's kind of inspiring me to want to like create like an actual graphic novel. Just the way they go about it, where like a picture in a graphic novel just tells an entire story. It's pretty amazing. I don't think I've even seen a picture of your dog, Tyler. Um, Gizmo the Mogwai is what I drew. Like, you ever see Gremlins? You had to have seen Gremlins. You're not that young. I mean, you're pretty young, but you know Gremlins, right, Tyler? The little furry guy, he looks like Baby Yoda, becomes one of the, well, I guess spoiler alert, he becomes one of those lizard monsters almost. You know what a Mogwai is. If you don't know what a Mogwai is, go and watch Gremlins. Yeah. Yeah, anyway, I drew, he's up there on the wall. Let's see. Eh, it's kind of hard. There you go. There you go. Where are my fingers pointing? Yeah, Gremlins it definitely holds up. Um, let's see. There was another movie I saw recently. For some reason, Thomas Crown Affair came up, and I just rewatched that yesterday, and that's a great movie. That holds up. It's got Pierce Brosnan. He's like an art thief, like a billionaire tycoon. He basically steals art for fun. That's a great movie. Like if you're interested in art and thrillers and stuff like that, I encourage people to watch that. It's on Max right now. So or Mogwais if you want to see Mogwais. There's the Secret of the Mogwais on Max or HBO, whichever you want to call it. But I think they just recently changed it to be called Max. But top 10 sexiest gremlins. There was that one gremlin in Gremlins 2 that was supposed to be like a sexy gremlin, but I don't know. That's the one I should have. Like I should actually draw a gremlin, not just a Mogwai, but there's a difference, guys. So usually, like right through here on the chest of the dog, the fur just goes everywhere. So it's always a challenge, but it's also kind of fun because you just basically have the fur going everywhere. I do enjoy pastel pictures a lot. So yeah, it's been about 2 hours, so I should wrap this up. Just before I do, I wanted to kind of put in some white on his face, just to let you know that there are some white markings and stuff that I'm eventually going to get in here. Like there's some white along this side here. It's not all gray. So even though the fur is technically white, the way the shadows work and stuff like that, it's I find it easier to just like treat these as highlights. So I'm going to do that now. But anyway, there will be more detail in this face whenever I finish it. So there's definitely going to be a part two to this that hopefully you guys can keep an eye out for in the next couple of days. But I think it's looking good so far. What do you think? Your I love Tyler's guessing games. Tyler, you give us no information whatsoever in order to make these guesses. Like in Discord, I would use that crystal ball or like that magic 8 ball because it's literally that. And so I think if I go add this ridge here, I can make a loop and actually put this collar belt in, or at least get that started. Oh, Blade Runner, that's a good movie. I'm never leaving Las Vegas. I don't know if you guys can hear my cat. My cat's at the door. Like, why are you taking so long? Why don't you ever draw me? My cat gets jealous. So at this point, I'm kind of just sketching in some details that like are going to be fleshed out later, just to get that thumbnail in a place where I feel okay putting it up. Oh, Blade Runner 2049? Yeah, it is better than the original. The original, is great for the day it came out, like, but it is a little dated. But it's one of those rare sequels that are just as good. Like you guys mentioned, Top Gun Maverick. I think that's just, like that is a perfect sequel. I would count Blade Runner 2049 as one of those. They also had a series on Hulu, I think. Yeah. Um, yeah, on Hulu, um, where it's kind of like an animated Blade Runner. That one's pretty good too. If you get a chance to see that. I'm a fan of Blade Runner. I'm a fan of those type of sci-fis like The Matrix, Blade Runner, Black Mirror, you know, dystopian cyberpunk futures. I'm just a fan of sci-fi in general. They should call it like instead of like science fiction, they should call it science philosophy essentially because like it brings up some important questions that should have us pause and think. We don't ever do it. Like, you know, Terminator, for example, is sci-fi. They should have talked people out of inventing AI, and yet here we are. Like, have we learned nothing from sci-fi? Oh, a river runs through it? Yeah, like I would have guessed that eventually. I didn't want to spoil your reveal there, Tyler. I know that you enjoy fishing, fly fishing in particular. All right, so I think this is probably in a decent enough shape where I can call this a good start and go and wrap this up. Like we've been here for like 2 hours, and I know that like on a weeknight, people have to go to work and stuff the next day, so I don't want to take up too much of your guys' time. But I think this is a good start for Ringo. Beautiful dog. And I will probably, I don't know if I'll be able to finish it up tomorrow, but I'll definitely make a bigger dent in it. Didn't even get to his back paw. But isn't he a beautiful dog? I just love him. There should be some like blue in this back as well because like he's picking up some of the sky. I do so much enjoy working with pastels. Ringo is dope for real. Yeah, but this guy like why don't that's great. Currency should have pets on them. I like that. You know, in the future, they're probably going to make custom currency because that's where the technology will be. You can like choose, like they already do it with credit cards. Like you can have a photo put on credit cards. They're gonna have like dollar bills with like doggos on them. All right, so this is probably a good stopping point. Like I said, there's like a lot more to do, but I think it's a good start. So like, let me go back to the reference photo real quick. So as you can see, it's got a good ways to go, and like a lot of darkening of the values and stuff like that to get to where I want it to be. But if you look at it, I mean, it's starting to look like him. So I'm pretty happy with it. I think this is a good part one. Uh, I don't know if I'm going to leave part two for Friday's stream or if I'll get inspired tomorrow and just go ahead and finish it up. We'll see. But I think for now, this is probably a good start. Yeah, send me a photo of your dog there, Tyler. I'm not sure I ever saw your dog. You may have shared it with me before, but I don't recall that. So that's kind of cool. Yeah, I think I don't know if she'll be pleased with the picture, but I'm pleased with the start of the picture. So we'll see how it goes. But again, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me on a Wednesday night. I haven't decided yet if Wednesdays are going to be my night going forward. Hey guys, she knows when I switch to this camera because like she just comes out and starts like saying hi. She just wants to be in the picture. This is my dog, Bear. For those who don't know, I think everybody in this room knows. Look at this. She's so jealous that I draw other dogs. But anyway, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me, drawing Ringo. I'm going to finish up Ringo tonight, tomorrow, Friday. We'll see. But I'll definitely post up part two, on the channel so that you guys can see the finished product. And of course, when the drawing itself is done, I'll put it up on the community tab. So anyway, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. I'm not going to keep you that much longer. I know it's getting a little bit late. Some of you guys have to work tomorrow. So if I haven't put you to sleep already, make sure you guys get a good night's sleep and enjoy your day. And happy hump day. Till next time, I'll see you guys. Bye.